It was big. It was all wiggly. And it ate everything.
That's horrible.
It was an Alaskan bullworm.
In the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
We've taken control of the oil in the Middle East, the oil that we're talking about.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create.
We choose truth over facts.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. The foothills of the Himalayas.
Television is what people are saying.
We are fighting Satan himself.
Journalists, ask them the question! Ask them! Ask them! Ask them!
Agreed that everybody wants to stay inside. They should. Anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry. America's dead.
Welcome to the Worm-tastical special, everyone.
Worm.
Special
Fuck. Okay. Sorry. I messed it up. Damn.
Oh, I love it so much.
How's it going, y'all?
Worms. We got music at the end.
I have so many worms. Wait, no, don't clip that. Don't you clip that.
It's too late. It's canon.
It's already going in the wiki. The fan.
I'm already making the Snow Wormbo account as we speak.
Snow Wormbo. Oh no.
Oh yeah, how did we not do an apple worm thing? It's I was late to the party. We didn't really think about it. Next time.
No,
next time we do a brain worm episode.
Brave New Worm. Yeah.
There you go.
We can make a whole. God damn, Wormbo. That's good too.
I gotta say, I hate to hand it to the Daily Show, but Lobel worming was really fucking funny. Lobel worming. I mean, yeah, I'll give them
that's
that
pretty
one.
good.
I will.
I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good.
Like, God damn it. All right.
Jon Stewart on the old Comedy Central, but he's so like bad now. It's really.
Mm-hmm.
My theory's always been the same. It's like we have fond memories of him because we don't remember how propaganda as well used to be.
Yep.
At least I speak for myself that way. I'm like,
No, sure.
Yeah, he's sticking it to those people, but looking back, it's like, no, he didn't change.
Controlled opposition when I was 12.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, he didn't change. I did.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, bro. Sorry.
But you know what? Good for you.
I had to, otherwise I'd just be watching that dog shit at night.
Right.
Probably defending atrocities as we speak, so thank goodness for small favors.
Mm-hmm.
It's the internet. All right, shall we get into the worms?
Yeah,
Let's not leave these worms waiting.
I need some worms, man. I don't have enough. I need more worms.
So for the main story, some shocking revelations that we come across. And maybe it's not something that we would all are particularly surprised by, but once you see it, it starts to make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, RFK Jr., a man currently running for president, nephew of John F. Kennedy, actually has brain worms.
This is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
I know we've all been saying it for a hot minute, but no, I think you know the secret? I think we fucking manifested it. We said it so many times that we created a worm in his head. A dead worm in his brain.
I'm just so
sorry every time I read it.
Because now now that I know this, I have more questions than answers.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense? Like now I'm like, how many other presidential candidates also have worms in their brains? And is this like some grand conspiracy where like all of our politicians are
I would
like
argue
secret like alien worms
I
that
would
are
argue most of them.
parasitically attached to like their brains, and that's why they can't like they don't have like a functioning. That's why the only thing they know is like terrorists. Like they just have like a computer like glitch happening.
Yeah. I also love how they picked the most Shoggoth-y picture of him they could. The like, let's get a shot that really emphasizes his gills to talk about the brainworms.
Let's have the picture that makes him most resemble like something you would open up the D&D monster manual and fucking find on like page 68. You're like, oh, what is that? An illithid? Cool. Damn. Oh, Mind Flayer.
Junior. I was about to say the Mind Flayer. God damn it.
Let's watch the morning show clip before he's diving.
Hey, those are actual brainworms. They go right in.
This shit's serious. This is worse than we thought.
Yeah. Our government's controlled by mind flayers. It's all making sense.
Of course, MSNBC took the opportunity to dunk on this, but granted, this is for a good cause.
Gang. Yes, there's a New York Times story. This is real. That just posted under Suzanne Craig's byline. We know her well. They're operating off of a deposition given by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. some years ago, relaying how that in 2010, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. experienced memory loss and mental fogginess so severe that people thought he might be sick. He went in for scans. They found a dark spot on the brain, and the belief is, Mr. Kennedy says anyway, that there's a dead parasite in his brain, meaning, I quote from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, the abnormality, quote, was caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then died. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. suggesting that a worm ate some of his brain and then died while there.
Sorry, two things real quick.
What in the world?
Two things real quick. First off, they missed a brilliant opportunity to just say RFK Jr.'s brainworms. They should have just led with that and then explained afterwards. But that's a writer problem. Secondly, the part of that story people need to focus on is this worm consumed part of his brain, and that caused the worm to die.
Big takeaway.
That's the part that concerns me.
We have serious evidence that there is at least one species of brain parasite that is fatally allergic to Zionist horse shit if it eats enough of it.
That's what
this is big news. Okay, this is really big news.
We received an update on the RFK Jr. brainworm story. Apparently, the worm actually died of starvation. We were misinformed earlier.
Now I'm thinking like the RFK supporters, like the Laurie Spencers out there, have the brainworms as well. Can we just take a second to appreciate the pacing of the way this guy announces this breaking news?
I quote from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here. The abnormality, quote, was caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then died.
God, I
it's good
want to focus on more important things, but like I also want to sample this so badly. I really do.
I'm not above, guys. I am not above this. If you're
I'm absolutely not either.
If you're just saying out loud, yes, this man couldn't get a fucking job. He wanted to avoid getting a job so that he couldn't pay alimony to his ex-wife. And you know what the reason was?
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Hey, about that.
Well, we're talking about heroin addict drug Kennedy. I mean, this is drug Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. That was his excuse. His reason was, oh, see, I had these worms. Well, this worm, yes. One worm.
This is from a deposition of court documents in a divorce case where he wasn't paying alimony to his ex-wife, and the excuse was brainworms. You don't get more Kennedy than that, man. This is the Kennedy. That's the a Kennedy thing to do.
Oh, baby, you know I want to pay
every time. Every single time, I think he maxes out. He hits max level on the fucking weirdo class tier progression list. an RFK expansion comes out, and
This
the
is-
level caps increase to like 10 more levels. I don't know what else to say.
A Falcon's flight away from his last fuckery. Like we're a whole. I also love that they make the distinction that he believes this is what happens, and then they quote his deposition where he says the doctors believed. No one has checked with the doctor. This is still all based off of what he said.
Brainworms or something.
Can you imagine
very
if they
careful to
interviewed?
say, he says the doctors said he had brainworm.
Can you imagine if they interviewed the doctor and he was like, "No, he just started talking to me about like I don't know a bunch of crystal mommy shit," and I said he had brainworms. It wasn't a diagnosis. I was just insulting him. Like that's where this came from, and now it's in the fucking New York Times. Damn.
Think you misheard, sir. We were just riffing in the break room.
We were just memeing. Like doctors can't meme a bit. Damn, bro.
Oh god.
Let's read a little bit of this. Several doctors noticed a dark spot on the younger Mr. Kennedy's brain scans and concluded that he had a tumor, he said in a 2012 deposition reviewed by the New York Times. Mr. Kennedy was immediately scheduled for a procedure at Duke University Medical Center by the same surgeon who had operated on his uncle. While packing for the trip, he received a phone call from the Presbyterian Hospital. Mr. Kennedy, he believed, had found a dead parasite in his head. The doctor believed that the abnormality seemed on his scans to be caused by a worm that got into my brain and died. Now the independent presidential candidate, who is 70 years old, he's got about 10 years on Biden and Trump. This Kennedy was secured on all the ballots. He's got the money for it. And he has this obsession of like making this like appearance of like this you know how he has like releases those like pictures of like him with like the pecs and like
the weird workout videos in the gyms. Yeah.
That's also a Kennedy thing.
He's just like, look at me. I'm not shitting my pants in diapers or like 5 million pounds. Check me out. Which I mean, good for him. But it's like, if you gotta use that to dunk on a couple of decaying sociopaths, like, how down bad are we?
Booby and brain. About the same time he learned of the parasite, he said he was also diagnosed with mercury poisoning, most likely from ingesting too much fish containing the dangerous heavy metal. This is a quote from RFK Jr. "I have cognitive problems, clearly," he said in a 2012 deposition. So, I have short-term memory loss, and I have a longer-term memory loss that affects me. In an interview with the Times, he said he recovered from the memory loss and the fogginess, had no after effects from the parasite.
That brain grew back. That lost bit of brain, guys, it grew back. It came back.
It's okay.
That's just science.
Well, it's clearly his long-term memory loss. I mean, he forgot the whole fucking history of Palestine, so there's that. Got him. I had to. That was just that apple was basically on the floor.
No, it's not. It's right here.
Nice.
So his campaign.
You set me up for that. Thank you.
His campaign is not giving any medical records, not returning any of the phone calls. Okay. He went on a battery of tests, scans over many weeks, so no change in the spot of his brain. They concluded that the cyst that they saw in the scans contained remains of a parasite. Mr. Kennedy said he didn't know the type of parasite or where he might have contracted it, though he suspected it might be during a trip in South Asia.
Ooh, way to lose that vote. Okay. Come up. If you're going to talk, you got to show your face. That's the rule.
Okay, so several infectious disease experts and neurosurgeons in separate interviews with the Times said, based on what Mr. Kennedy described, they believed it was a pork tapeworm larva.
Oh, that's not very kosher. What are you doing, bro?
Come on, man. We're already putting pork. He's got pork brain. Pork worm.
Another pork brained take from RFK Jr.
Pork brained.
Again, this could all just be a weird like meth trip of his or something. We have no confirmation from anyone except from.
This could be a total psyop. This could be like made up like script from like the CIA to go like distract from like Rafah or something. But it's funny.
All right,
it's pretty.
Let's
funny.
play the Langley worm bit. Like that's.
Let's do the worm brains one. The brain.
They're not going to buy the worm thing. They're dedefinitely going to buy the worm thing. In fact, I bet a bunch of guys in beards are going to cover it on their stream.
People are going to eat this thing alive.
Dr. Clinton White, a professor of infectious diseases, said the microscopic tapeworm eggs are sticky and can easily be transferred from one person to another.
So skin-to-skin contact, shaking hands with Biden.
They're contagious, according to this doctor. Once hatched, the larva can travel into the bloodstream and end up in all kinds of tissues.
All kinds of tissues.
He added that it is unlikely that a parasite would eat part of the brain Mr. Kennedy described. Rather, Dr. White said it survives on nutrients from the body. Some tapeworm larvae can live in the human brain for years without causing any problems. Others can wreak havoc, and once they start to die, can cause inflammation. The most common symptoms are seizures, headaches, and dizziness. There are roughly 2,000 hospitalizations for the condition, known as neurocytosis, each year. Yeah, that's not. And you're basically going to have like a tumor in there that's forever. It's not going to go anywhere.
It's Dr. Talk.
This is according to Dr. Doug Gardner. Mr.
Heavy on predatory fish, yes.
Yes, yes, that's what it was. He was eating too much predatory fish.
Leave that alone.
Notably, tuna and perch, known as having elevated mercury levels. That's what it is.
These damn perch.
This reminds me of like a psychology tactic that you look for when someone's lying, where like they try to get ultra specific to make the lie like extra credible. And he's like, yeah, I was eating not just fish, but predatory fish. And there's this mercury poisoning over here. Bro, you're just oversharing to the point where everybody's asleep.
Exponential double down. It really is.
Now no one believes you, man. No one. He's
I loved tuna fish sandwiches. I ate them all the time.
Bro, guys, I'm sorry. Like, after this article, I'm getting vaccinated. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go. This had the opposite effect, Mr. Kennedy.
This is a Tim Robinson sketch. I refuse to believe this is real.
I love
tuna fish sandwiches. I eat them all the time.
I love tuna fish sandwiches. Wish I could get that on tape.
Oh my god, it's so absurd. It's just so absurd.
They're just talking about mercury.
Hepatitis C. It feels like there's a bag of worms in my chest. I can feel it immediately when it goes out. Hang on. Back to the worms.
Yeah, so he said in the disposition that stress, caffeine, and a lack of sleep triggered the condition. It was like a bag of worms. Okay.
Bro,
it's called tremulant.
Okay. This is just fucking trolling at this point.
He also has hepatitis
You're just like...
He has hepatitis C from his heroin binge. 42.
Oh, another major health condition, spasmodic dysphonia. Oh, right, that's the voice thing.
That's the voice, vocal cord.
Yeah, that's why his vocal cords are so. So he's in a little bit of trouble. I mean, popularity has definitely rolled down ever since Gaza. So
it could be spasmodic dysphonia, or that could just be how Mind Flayer actually talks, and we're getting taken for a ride.
Are you sure it's not spaswormia, emphidosia?
Emphidosia? Did you just make the last word up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Some kind of ancient sex worm.
Okay, I'm sorry. The only part of that thing I'm questioning is like why are you willingly saying in somewhere that can easily be replicated that part of your brain was eaten?
And that was what did they say? That was 2010. That deposition was that he used that as an excuse. So it's been a hot second, right? And when they brought it up recently, they were like, "Oh, he's good now. It's all cleared up." That was
but they're saying it can be permanent. They're saying A could be permanent, B you could have no symptoms at all, and C he also has hepatitis C and mercury poisoning.
I like that you kept that for C. Yes, good form.
Someone's got to tell this.
He has hepatitis.
Someone's got to tell this man that you shouldn't just treat diseases like they're Pokemon, okay? You can let a couple of them fucking go. Jesus Christ.
Terminal Zionism. I mean, it's just the list goes on.
Is that what it is?
Well, that's the worst one. I mean, hold on. Just to clarify, this is all from a deposition, and it's like it was for like what, like a custody battle, or sorry,
alimony payments or something.
Alimony payments. He could.
Wasn't it? I can't remember. Wasn't it?
He could have pulled all of this out of his ass and just like gone on like
that's the
this.
Thing. It's like, why didn't you? We'll see. Brainworms.
Brainworms, hepatitis C.
Fish, brainworms. Boom. There you go.
What else is in this Merck manual? Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's go with meteor in the kidney. I had a meteor in my kidney. I had that happen too.
Oh, what is it?
Like, fuck.
These are all scripts. Like, I don't believe any of this is like real.
It can't be. I'm sorry. It fucking can't be. This is.
Dude,
they just wanted RFK Jr. has brain worms in like a hashtag or something. I don't know.
You guys don't feel like a little bit patronized, like the CIA can't come up with like better shit, that they're just like.
I felt that way my whole life.
For sure, it begs the question of why is this a news drop now if it's that old of a thing? We have much bigger fish to fry if we're looking at reasons why you should question RFK's viability as a candidate or decency as a person. There's way better reasons than he might have cognitive issues. But yeah, it's clearly real fun to do an episode about brainworms. I'm not going to deny that. So you know what? I'll take a win where I can get it. It's slim pickings these days.
They did it just for us. I feel I'm narcissistic enough to just roll with that. No, I mean it's kind of funny though. It's kind of a cell phone in a way because like
for sure.
Why is the mainstream media, who are also losing their minds over these college campus protests, why are they still going RFK as brainworms? That's like your biggest, that's your biggest stand, bro. He's out there showing for Israel every day. He doesn't take breaks. So I don't know. I think this is a case of Hanlon's razor, where sometimes you can't attribute to malice what can just be explained by the press having brainworms as well. I don't know.
Yeah, easy human contact.
Yeah, no,
he's shaking a lot of hands.
We've got a lot. Like, I don't know. The 2024 bingo card is just expanding larger and larger every day.
It keeps getting filled out.
Yeah, they're like, it started with the Jew tunnels. Once the Jew tunnels came out, I was like,
the Jew tunnels
here. No, I knew
anything's on the table.
I knew it from day two. Like once I saw that video, dude. Once I saw, I say this all the time. Once I saw that video of like the Hasidic Jew like coming out of the tunnel, like out of the sewers, like I was like, this year's gonna be insane.
All bets are off,
bro. It's not just 2024 bingo card. This filled out 2024. We're good all the way until like 2056. Like every single year, just this year covered it.
Yeah, this is pretty wild because and you know the other thing is like now that we have like a bunch of new psyops happening, now we're like kind of allowed to say the truth about certain things. So now that the things that we were saying 4 years ago are now being said openly out in the mainstream press with no vindication as to like what we've like said before or how we distracted or anything but vaccines are safe and effective. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, they totally are.
Unfortunately for the UK, though.
Go on.
Nice.
Well, I mean, unfortunately for the
That's
UK,
just to drive home really serious points. Sorry.
Yeah, they have one less vaccine option because apparently AstraZeneca was deemed unsafe, so they had to roll it back just this week. Here's a little so just in case, because we should never forget what these people did. Never ever forget, because it's vivid in my head. All of the gaslighting throughout all of the years, and I'm not particularly super passionate about this topic, but the mindlessness of how out in the open it is. Let me play this cut that I made.
Hi folks, I'm here at St Thomas's where I've just had my first AstraZeneca
It's just terrifying.
vaccine, and quite literally I did not.
Looks like a Silent Hill boss.
The AstraZeneca COVID vaccine is being withdrawn worldwide.
That's Bojo. He's not appealing at all.
After the pharmaceutical giant admitted it causes a rare and dangerous.
Let the mainstream media speak for themselves. That's it.
Yep. We don't gotta say shit.
We don't have to say anything. Just let them talk.
AstraZeneca admitted the claims in court documents.
Our expert committee on the safety of medicines, the Pharmacovigilance and Risk Assessment Committee, has now come to a conclusion on the review of cases of blood clots in people vaccinated with AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine.
AstraZeneca admitted their COVID-19 vaccine can cause a rare blood clot condition known as TTS. TTS is a syndrome that causes people to have blood clots.
Get your jab when you're asked to do so. It's good for you, it's good for your family, and it's a great thing for the whole country. So please get your...
Has come under intense scrutiny in recent months over a rare side effect which causes blood clots.
The committee also concluded that the vaccine is not associated with an increase in the overall risk of thromboembolic events or blood clots.
The freedom and democracy.
In 2021, it was recognized that these clotting disorders could occur. I mean, the rate that's widely quoted, which sounds about right, is 15 for every million jabs.
Alyssa, this really is the calm before the storm.
Not again! No!
Absolutely vital, wherever you live, when you get the notification to come and get a jab, get a vaccination, be sure to do it. It's a wonderful thing. It's very, very safe.
This is a safe and effective vaccine.
Of course, the company I think I'm right in saying, don't have to pay anything out here because they were given immunity from that, as were all the pharmaceutical companies during COVID. It's not only COVID, lots of pharmaceutical companies do get immunity because nations, I suppose, feel that there is an emergency consideration that comes before all of that.
It's safe. We're entering some sort of new era where they're just, and this is the lesson to take away from this. You don't give capitalist corporations immunity for anything. I don't think anyone should get any immunity. I don't think I deserve immunity. Why would you give, there's the only reason for this is for that they can save money for when shit like this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And what was everyone saying a couple years ago? I mean,
well, according to them, everybody got immunity, so
I love that he says that nations felt that there was emergency factor, like we were all clamoring for it or something and begging for it.
Please give them immunity.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't want them to lose money in case there's a number we really need. And I regret it, honestly.
I mean, I go to Big Pharma Wikipedia pages and I look under legal issues, and it really makes me want to it really makes me want to just look out for them more. Oh,
there you go.
Hey, little one.
Pfizer daddy. Pfizer me up, daddy.
Hey,
like
say hello.
Everyone needs
Hey.
I think everyone needs like a good rebrand every now and then. You know what I mean? Like sometimes things get tiring. Like Apple has Mozilla Firefox has a new logo.
Mm-hmm.
Apps are constantly updating all the time. Look at X or it's Twitter, but I mean it's Twitter.com still.
Where are you going?
Twitter.com still redirects to X, so it's technically like Elon's not serious about it. I don't think Elon is serious about like an actual X if Twitter.com is still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I wonder too. I'm just like, why are you keeping it as Twitter.com? I'm confused. Can you not just change it to X.com? What is X.com currently? Do we need to go check out another .com and see what we find? Never mind. It'll just be more Hamas wet wipes. We don't need to go look into it.
I'm looking for
God damn.
So, like everyone, whoever's running their personal brand, like Chris Cuomo, who's a brand. He's not a person. He's a brand. I'm looking for a video.
Big agreement that he is not a person.
Which is why I think it's important.
Couldn't agree with you more.
These people.
Yeah, that's I think a consensus.
Mm-hmm.
We really should be making fun of these people.
You can say the word. I'm ready.
So,
did somebody say make fun? Or...
Everyone needs a good rebrand. You know what I mean? So, what we're gonna do, like Chris Cuomo, we're gonna start appearing on right wing podcasts like PPD, and start saying I'm vaccine injured. I'm for the anti-vaccine shtick now, like the Eric Weinsteins now. Like this is the new brand. This is what we're shooting for. But pay close attention to what these people were saying not too long ago, like 3 years ago, literally like 3 years ago, and how like fast it is. They could just switch on a whim. But that's what a rebrand is, right?
There's really no incentive to get out in front of this. I mean, nobody's going to get patted on the back for saying, yeah, Sean's right. There's side effects on some of the vaccines or all of the vaccines that we should be talking about and figuring out how to treat. And there is long COVID and there's lots. Nobody wants to say that because it's all political now. I will never stop reporting on this. And all I'm doing is just beating the drum of you need to have a 9/11 style commission to figure out what worked and what didn't.
Was that a good idea? The 9/11 commission?
Yeah, like really.
9/11 style commission, and all of a sudden he's for it. All of a sudden he's okay. He's for it now.
The drum of you need to have.
Thank you, Chris Cuomo, for your.
I'm glad
recording.
New season, new Cuomo.
I'm glad Chris Cuomo said this so I can arrive at a conclusion about how I feel about this topic. It's really fucking thank you so much.
Right?
It's just like this is the power of the corporate like press machine though.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the second someone's kind of out of it, it's like all of a sudden they're like, "Oh fuck, I'm not going to be thrown in a dungeon with like a Balrog if I say one wrong word." Because apparently only the president's allowed to read anything on the teleprompter these days. But
about this, they'll throw you in prison for some bad words about other topics, but this is suddenly a green light. That's what I'm feeling. This water is getting, bath temperature. Like we can do this.
The thing is, I feel like after the corporations make billions in windfall dollars, just nobody cares anymore. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's I mean, our donors are happy, so we really we'll just say anything now. And it happens for every single current thing. Every single current thing is it's
Maybe
just
they
in the
do it-
service of capital. It's the same fucking thing.
It could be to like confuse you to like make so like psyop agencies are working overtime. They're like trying to like rebrand people so that like you forget whose side which fake left right spectrum they're on, and then all these like internet personalities, they get like all Welsh together.
I mean, I've never seen Chris Cuomo. He could actually just be like a deepfake AI generated sort of situation.
Very Max Headroom vibes from Chris Cuomo.
Yeah. I think this is actually, you know what? I know where they got this from. I think this is a model of an NPC I sold some junk to in Fallout New Vegas. He looks exactly like him. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
A 9/11 style commission to figure out what worked and what didn't and what questions need to be answered, because it's not over. So not only are we not set up for the next pandemic, and there will be one, but we're not treating people, millions of people who still have problems from the last one. Sean, thank you very much for sharing your story. I'll be in.
And I know you don't know, so I'm trying to help you. The science is clear, Tony.
Trying to help me.
I don't.
So this is just some random New York restaurant owner, and look at this rich white pompous asshole speak to just some random New York business owner who had a
I remember this
accent side. This pisses me off so much.
I don't want you to get sick the way I was sick.
The science is clear. Oh, you care about me all of a sudden, huh?
Enough to have you on the show because
I like his ass.
I don't like people making bad decisions for themselves and their family. Look, it's just stupid. I'm pro-freedom. I'm not anti. It's not about the vaccine. It's about freedom. What the hell is he talking about? Of course you have the freedom not to take it. The question is it a good move? He doesn't know the science. He doesn't want to know the science. This is my problem with the enablers of guys like this.
Perfect. So I'm gonna try and look at this as charitably as possible when it comes to Chris Cuomo, because he is kind of just a fucking himbo, and I gotta stand with my own little bit here.
He's probably AI. You're probably right.
Yeah, probably. But so I saw him on that weird Valuetainment show with the like super horny for capitalism dude. I think it's that PD whatever or something.
PD, yeah, that's where we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's play this. So,
okay, good call.
He's coming out. He's coming out for now. He, after scolding his audience for years about the dewormer, now he's all for the horse-based dewormer. That's what it is, according to him. Never forget how these people talked to you for the past 3 years, and they just like that. I'm coming. This is like Cuomo coming out of the closet, but like for his medical issues. And I don't think anyone should care or take this guy seriously, but respect the.
I am taking.
So of course, like he's all of a sudden he's appearing on the PPD podcast, and like he's gonna be on Joe Rogan next. Just watch. He's gonna come out with a book.
Greg, I just gotta say, nobody is better at pausing at the perfect time. You never let anybody take that away from you. Every single time you pose on a motherfucker, it's the greatest like snapshot in history.
I can make it look like he's biting my finger.
Chris,
let it go.
Cuomo bit my finger.
I am taking a what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin. At least 2 people have been.
All of a sudden, he's for the dewormer. Watch what he said just a couple of years ago.
Whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin. At least 2 people have been hospitalized in Mississippi after taking ivermectin.
That didn't happen.
It is a dewormer.
It didn't.
It's not a COVID cure. Please don't take it. Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong. We were given
Yeah, you think?
bad information about ivermectin. The real question is why?
Why was that?
Oh my God, maybe it has something to do with, I don't know, Chris, it preventing the corporations that own the media and own the government and own everything else from making billions in fucking profit. Maybe connect those dots, because it's just 2 dots.
Maybe
it's the easiest connection in the world.
The brainworms.
I'm a himbo and I know this, you fuck.
Maybe that's
God
why
damn it.
Maybe that's why he's taking the dewormer, because he's also got brainworms.
Wing media is saying this deworming drug, this could do the trick.
Which drug, Chris?
Ivermectin, the deworming
yes.
drug.
I'm sorry, I just love that he called it the deworming drug. That's what it's called.
Which drug, Chris?
Ivermectin, the deworming
yes.
drug. The entire clinical
RFK could use a hot dose of that right now.
Yeah, he could take some.
community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you. They knew it, Patrick. I know they knew it. How do I know? Because now I'm doing nothing but talking to these clinicians who at the time were overwhelmed by COVID and they weren't saying anything. Not that they were hiding anything.
Yeah.
Not be recommended by.
Not that they weren't hiding anything, yet this motherfucker had on the FDA. He had the fucking FDA on, and he's saying, "Oh, like
You want some attention?
We didn't know they were lying." And it's like I think the 2 dots that are supposed to connect in your
You want to say hi?
Oh, hello.
You want to say hi?
Hello. Kitty cam.
Oh no, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Hello.
No.
He wants
You have a Do you have brainworms or something? What the
Her
fuck is
name
going
is
on?
Simone, Greg.
He wants to join.
Yeah, this is our new kitty. She's a tuxedo cat.
Oh, stop.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And she's already fucking insane. So
She's
that's
so
good.
photogenic.
I know.
That's good.
Come here. You want to say hi to our kitty? There's
Give
a
it
kitty.
blue
You wanna say
steel.
hi? Come say hi to kitty.
Cat
Come here.
Give it
community.
blue steel.
Come here. Oh, come here.
I
Come
have
say hi
never
to
been
kitty.
in the middle of cat
Say
community.
hi to kitty.
Oh, she's getting shy now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, he even went horizontal.
Even the kitty started biting now. I gotta tell her to stop. Yeah.
Damn. I'm getting quadruple rolled by the kitties. I need a kitty.
You do. You need to complete the. We need to complete the kitty triumvirate. Triumvirate. I can never pronounce that word.
I love that word.
By any medical professional, that would be chosen over a vaccine that's been studied and looked at in hundreds of thousands of people. So ivermectin is not a drug that anyone should take for COVID-19. It does not appear to work, and it may be harmful, particularly if you take the animal version of it.
Isn't it like the wording of that so specifically like propagandistic? Like it's
19. It does not.
It's particularly harmful, particularly the animal version of it. Like, of course, no one's fucking taking the animal version of it.
I mean,
I know. I heard on CNN that 2 people were hospitalized for it.
yeah, I heard they were hospitalized for taking the animal. Here's the thing, though. Like, taking this. So 2 quick points. One, taking this in good faith. It's like, I remember that period where this drug was completely fucking unavailable. The whole world was just like, nope, we're not giving it out. We're burn it. Just burn it in the back. Burn it in the back. Like, so it's like, if you
except
can't,
for the countries that was part of their care package for you.
yeah, exactly. Especially except for the countries where it's like, here, we're giving this to you. Enjoy. But like, so if you can't find it, like the human version of it, and you want to get it, you know, hit up your local veterinarian. I don't know. But second, this is the point I had earlier about this. The way he's talking, taking this as charitably as possible, and in as good faith. What the fuck are you doing? Okay. Taking this as charitably as possible to Cuomo. I almost said Chromo or Chrono. I don't know. That was a great game, though. There's some people who legitimately they just believe the fucking government. I know people like this where they're like, I was given bad information. And the reason they can be so zealous early on is because there are people out there who just take whatever the government's saying is gospel.
Face value.
And then later they're just like, oh, well, we were given bad information. But then the next time the government says something, they're just like, oh, well, the government says this now. And they go through their whole lives of this cycle of like, government bullshitted me. I should have learned a lesson there. No, I'm just gonna cope and go on weird business shows, and then I'm gonna go every single current thing. Like it's like, and I'm not just saying don't blindly trust the government, but don't blindly mistrust the government. What you need to do is before you receive information, before you have a decision about any fucking information you receive, before you have a decision, you got to do two things. One, you have to ignore how people feel about it. Like, whatever anybody else is saying about information or any given narrative, you have to ignore what other people are saying or feeling about it until you've made up your fucking mind. The second thing is, you need to actually look into the information and go, does this make sense to me? Well, not really. Okay, I'm going to reject it. Or, does this make sense to me? Well, yeah, okay. I can get behind that. You do that before you hear the massive echo chambers and everybody shrieking about it. And you do that before someone just says, trust me, bro, this is like the way. So
I don't think you should trust anything the U.S. government says at any point. Like, you should believe the opposite, actually.
Well,
like,
well, no. I mean, yes, like...
So, you know, like Squawk in the Box, like, they always say, like, what's his name again? Jim Cramer. They always say, like on the general advice is, like, just bet on, like, whatever the opposite of Jim Cramer is saying, because, like, that's, like, that's basically... So, like, that, but that applies to, like, all of, like, television media, in my opinion.
Stop
Like,
fighting me.
usually, most of the time, whatever the mainstream media is saying, the opposite is actually true. And it depends on what it
work, and it may be harmful, particularly if you take the animal version of it.
Now there are questions. Oh, no, but I knew at the time. No, you didn't. What you knew was that there were people telling you to be resistant to what the government was telling you to do. And they would...
I guess we're the people. Shit, you got us, Chris.
Okay.
That's a perfect follow-up to our discussion. God damn.
A deworming drug than a vaccine. What does that tell us?
You know, I don't know the answer to that question because it doesn't follow the science and the data. And as we have discussed before, this is not about politics. This is about what do the science and data show us.
It's not left, right? Come on. Who defines themselves as that anymore? Those are just ideological extremes for the political class. GOP or Democrat. Who calls themselves that anymore? Those are just teams in a bad game. This country is about the vaccinated and those who choose to put them at risk. I am taking ivermectin.
That's a good line, I'm
Ivermectin,
not gonna lie.
a dewormer. Really?
They are shaming themselves. No one has to shame them. They're shaming themselves.
No, they need to
by
be shamed.
doing that. Yeah.
They need to be called out and shamed, brother.
They need to be called out and shamed.
Again, those pause skills. Look at that.
Chris, I hate to say it, but future you is shaming the fuck out of past you right now. I think he's actually doing it in real time and trying to carry on. But again, it's like, it's because these people, they don't do anything but just trust blindly what the government tells them. So this isn't surprising.
I just want to emphasize this one quote, and I'm paraphrasing here, from Chris Cuomo. He literally says, it's not left or right, it's about the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated.
That is so unbelievably unhinged.
He said it's about the vaccinated versus those who choose to put them at risk. It's not even two different choices. It's these people and the people who are trying to hurt those other people.
Yeah.
That's not so many words. That's what he says. He says it's not left or right. It's not GOP or Democrat. It's the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, which is crazy to say on national television.
It's not the vaccinated versus the Trumpers.
This is about what do the science and data show us. This is not about politics. This is about what do the science and data show us.
It's not left, right. Come on. Who defines themselves as that anymore? Those are just ideological extremes for the political class. GOP or Democrat. Who calls themselves that anymore? Those are just teams in a bad game. This country is about the vaccinated and those who choose to put them at risk.
When he's like, GOP and Democrat, who calls themselves that anymore? Literally everybody, every other minute of programming on your network, Chris.
That's all you talk about. You talk about Democrats and the GOP. That's all this is.
I just want to scream like, motherfucker, that's you.
I am taking ivermectin. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
Really?
They are shaming themselves. No one has to shame them. They're shaming themselves.
No, they need to be
by doing
shamed.
that.
Also, the hilarious thing is when all of these clowns talked about this, they're like, this isn't political. And both sides of the, capitalist apparatus of propaganda did this, but they all said the same thing. This isn't political. It's like, bro, you are the fucking people making this political. Okay? It's not by accident that one side of the fake WWE pro wrestling shit we call North American politics, because we got it up here in Canada too, is like against and you're for. It's because all you fuckers made it political. You picked your side, and then the other side, which all the media is owned by the same billionaires anyway, so they chose their side. You guys made it political. It didn't have to be political. You could have just said, make up your fucking mind. But you didn't. And that's why everybody's still in these weird camps instead of...
So speaking of people flipping, earlier this week we got a little bit of Scott Adams, who is notoriously one of those people.
I saw that hand, Greg.
Cuomo.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew he was in the Bilderberg group. I saw him 1882, brother. He was at Bohemian Grove. I got the documents right here.
Sorry, you were saying, Greg. Please continue.
Oh, sweet, a Triforce.
One thing I forgot.
I forgot about that.
This is an insane thing to tweet, and like the fact that he got his social media team to like churn this one up is incredible to me. I offer to eat 5 more brainworms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in a debate. I feel confident of the result, even with the 6-worm handicap. So let me get. This is literally what he's saying.
Yeah, because his advisors are telling him, okay, you got to lean into this. You got to lean into the the fact that you at one point you told the world that a brainworm ate part of your you got to
Bobby, the kids are loving this worm business. The hashtag's trending. We got to jump on it.
Exactly.
This worm thing is hot, Bobby.
Those brainworms are so hot right now.
Just 10 years ago, this man was saying that I can't pay alimony to my ex-wife because I have 1 brainworm.
That's the best part.
I have one.
Just one.
So what this suggests, and this is going back to my worm brain conspiracy.
Another good band name, kind of a jam band, but yeah, good one. I'm down. I'm in.
I'm in too.
The brainworm conspiracy. He says I offered to eat 5 brainworms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in the debate. So that means that these other candidates, Trump and Biden, have a certain X amount of brainworms to be cognitively impaired enough to be behind Robert F. Kennedy with a 6-worm handicap.
If I was his ex-wife, I'd be screenshotting the shit out of that, being like, "Oh, okay. if you could do a debate off of 5 brainworms, you could have paid your alimony off of 1, motherfucker." Pony up.
Okay, well, first of all, if he eats a bunch of mind flayer tadpoles before going into a debate, he'll be able to control the minds of his opponents. So this is actually probably 5D chess, I think.
It feels that way.
Just transforms right on stage. It's like,
there's something with this worm, with this brainworm thing, and I think that's like part of it. Genuinely,
Charlie Mack. He'll debate.
I want to suggest alone, President Trump. I mean, both Biden and Trump have less than 6, but more than 0 brainworms. That's what I'm trying to express here.
I would think he's more worm than brain at this point. Okay.
Biden is degenerating to the point where it's
What are we doing here?
He is the worm from which all lesser worms flow.
So
hey, Earthworm Rob, though. That'd be a slapping game, right? Anyone got a cow?
To get back to
Simone can be the cow. She can put her a little bell and some little horns, and she can be.
You're right. She's
That'd
got
be
the
adorable.
markings.
Uh-huh.
Are you ever going to do anything except be weird? No? Okay.
I would argue that she's doing everything right now.
Yeah.
She's doing
the most.
She's doing
What was your quote? What was your quote on this, by the way, Greg? You were like, you're fucked when you lose Dilbert or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That was good.
Well, he's Dilbert. That's what he is. He's literally
Yeah.
Dilbert. But another guy who was notoriously in the same camp as Chris Cuomo and all of them firing, it's like basically harassing and scolding people for making personal medical decisions. Now he's turns out he's against this is because of the anti-Semitism bill that just passed in the House. Just basically declaring everything anti-Semitism. Listen to what Scott Adams is saying now about Israel.
I want to know the full list of what I'm not supposed to fucking say.
I'm going to pee real quick. Be right back.
And I'm going to say everything on that fucking list every day. Give me the list. Give me the fucking list of what I'm not supposed to say about Israel, about what I'm not supposed to say about Jews. And you make that illegal, I'm going to say it every fucking day. And I am anti-Israel, period. I am fucking anti-Israel. Because the ADL, I know the ADL doesn't work for Israel, but if Israel doesn't shut their fucking dog down, which is the ADL, their little attack dog, they can shut them down tomorrow. Shut them the fuck down. I can't have the ADL and this law at the same time. I cannot have the ADL in business accusing people of being Holocaust deniers with this particular system. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck the ADL. This can't stand. If you want to make me fucking hate the people you want me to like, keep doing this. Keep telling me you're going to put me in fucking jail for my opinion. In this case, an opinion I didn't even hold. You motherfuckers. And by the way, if somebody votes for this, I need the whole list of anybody in the Senate who votes for this. I want to know if there's any fucking Republican who votes for this. If you're a Republican in the Senate and you vote for this, you're my enemy. I will try to do everything I can to get you out of office. I will defame you in every fucking way I can figure out how to do it. I will figure out who your opponents are, and I'll help fund them. I will vote for a Democrat over you. If you're a Republican and you let this get passed, fuck you. You're dead to me. You're dead to me. You are my enemy, mortal enemy. And by the way, I'm fighting to stay in a jail. You don't think I'm going to put some energy into this? Fuck you. Every one of you. No, this law, if this becomes a law, I'm not going to act the same.
Never thought I'd say base Dilbert. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, he's a piece of shit in every other regard, but and again, it's not because he saw the light. It's not because he's like, oh, I see these atrocities and I can't be on this side of it. It's like, don't tell me what I can and can't do. So
it's the hilarious thing about this bill, though, this anti-Semitism bill, is conservatives are so fucking confused. They don't know what to do because it's like, oh shit. It goes against all our free speech stuff that we just larp to care about for a long time. But shit, I can't shill for Israel. Fuck.
Yep.
Like, nobody knows what to do with this. I saw a segment where Ben Shapiro was he was melting down. You could see in real time his brain was just turning into, I guess, worm food. Probably worm food. But, like, goddamn, this bill is hilarious because it's almost like they don't know what current thing to go with. They're like, I can't support this. I'm with the current thing over here. This is getting in the way of the current thing. My last current thing is interfering with this current thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's funny. Everybody is just twisting themselves into pretzels over this.
Some of them are still like completely shameless. I mean, we also have earlier this week a group of 12 Republican senators. A lot of them are really just like, just flat out, straight out. No, we're going straight for Israel. To defend Israel at all costs. Like we are undergoing some sort of like real time coup where like it's Israel owns every single last one.
Yep.
But this is a letter from 12 Republican senators. Tom Cotton. Is Ted Cruz in here? No, but Tim Scott is. Marco Rubio, of course.
Rick Scott.
Mitch McConnell.
Who every picture of Rick Scott, you can see through the seams in his human costume, like really easily.
I just have to ask, like, I gotta ask, how many days do you think it took Mitch McConnell to sign this? I'm going with 12. He wrote the M, and then there was like a 4-hour pause and modem noises and shit, and then
this week we've had some good bipartisan.
Which this itself is against international law.
Glitch McConnell, that's my favorite.
I just want to highlight how cool guy.
Is that a motorcycle or a dog fart? I couldn't tell.
It was a dog fart. No,
it was both. It
That
was
makes
both.
sense.
It was a dog fart on a motorcycle.
Motorcycle, another good jam band name.
Great band name. We're dog fart motorcycle. Good night.
I just want to talk about how completely unhinged a lot of this language is.
It's mafia shit. It's absurd.
It's literally mafia shit.
All of these fuckers watch The Sopranos before before collaborating on this. So like, we gotta sound tough, even though we're scared in our basement.
Target Israel and we will target you. If you move forward with the measures indicated in the report, we will move to end all support for the ICC and sanction your employees and associates and bar you and your families from the United States. You've been warned.
You have been warned.
Crazy.
Like, oh no, we can't go to the United States.
Oh no, we can't go to some. You're threatening the Netherlands with this? They're giving you an L on every single measurable metric, you fucks.
We don't want your fucking third world country.
What's next? Being like, hey, Denmark, we're not going to let you come in here and have a worse life if you keep it up.
Right.
You and your sustainable minimum wage. Like, what?
Completely wild shit. I mean, of course, so like now, the only democracy in the Middle East is also banning Al Jazeera and their offices. This was basically the setup. This happened the day before they invaded Rafah. So just to make that clear, that connection, that was on purpose. That was all completely
for sure.
They've already killed like several journalists so far, but the great idea here is to go invade a refugee camp. It's a literal fucking refugee camp. That's literally what it is. It's just hundreds of thousands of kids. And This is the idea. This is the very precise IDF that doesn't kill civilians at all. They just shoot. They shoot tanks into tents. You never see this. I just want to make this clear. This has never been seen in like any like army ever. Like shooting into tents. A tank round shooting into fucking tents. What the fuck? And there's plenty of videos like that.
Mm-hmm.
The real edge to a lot of the dystopia is the Met Gala happened earlier that week, and this is a real headline. This actually came out, and
there's not even a fucking comma, like
where are we at?
There's no. Oh god, they couldn't even put one other thing to find like.
So after
in a perfect world, reading this headline is the moment that the proletarian uprising should have happened. This should have been the Lenin moment right fucking here. But because everybody's distracted and divided, we just got to all look at this and marvel at the absurdity of the doomed reality we persist in.
That's literally them just funneling both of those in at the same time. How much can we normalize what Israel's doing? Let's just fold it right into your morning. Here's what you need to concern yourself with. We've boiled it down for you. Israel's doing their thing, and look at these awesome outfits, and that's literally just as casually as they want it to go down for people. And a lot of people, I guess we hear you. You want to come up?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, you bring the mic down for you. That's what I'm saying.
It's also the pinnacle of bourgeois hubris.
What else?
Late
What
stage capitalism dystopia. So
tell me more. Okay, he's done.
It's literally what's this? Oh no.
I don't know. I mean, so Rafah is pretty much like earlier this week. That happened like probably Sunday, Monday. But now we're in the middle of like the hissy fit of the United States because that was the red line, the quote unquote red line for Joe Biden was don't invade Rafah or we're gonna do something, quote unquote. And apparently the day of Joe Biden made clear, according to John Kirby, to Netanyahu.
We've made clear our views about operations in Rafah that could potentially put more than 1 million innocent people at greater risk. During his call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, the president again made this clear. He also made clear that we continue to believe that the hostage deal is the best way to avoid that sort of an outcome while securing the release of those hostages. And as I said, those conversations continue. We've made clear our views about...
And so Joe Biden even went on CNN and admitted to a lot. He admitted to a lot of war crimes. I didn't prep that clip, but this is an important one. He's saying, he's telling public television that he's going to be not supplying the type of weapons, which I'm still confused about. Like, I don't know what the difference between offensive and defensive weapons are in this scenario. Like, you just don't send F-35.
If you ask Israel, everything they're doing right now is in the name of defense. So I think that's their loophole.
Listen to what he says here for a second.
I made it clear that if they go into Rafah, they haven't gone into Rafah yet. If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah, to deal with the cities, to deal with that problem.
Is this making any sense?
That could literally mean I'm giving them better weapons. I'm giving them
That's
more
exactly my point. It's like, why are you being this fucking specific?
There's a reason for that wording.
This is brainworms?
No, there has to be.
Is this just like degenerating brainworms, or like
No, I think that's something he's been coached on saying because like if they do supply them with weapons, they have a perfect out because then there's a bunch of, hey, but you said this. Oh no, I said I'm not supplying them with the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah. Which I meant like we sent them new tanks and new bombs.
It could be literally anything. They could make a new bomb that's like quote unquote defensive.
Are you supplying them with weapons?
Continue to make sure.
What?
Like if you say to your neighbor like I'm gonna fucking stab you, and then you come back the next day and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna kill you, but not with the weapons I've traditionally used to threaten you. Like, seriously, it's the point of being that vague is to just buy him this little.
Oh no, I didn't.
The illusion of some sudden, look, Biden's had a heart. Look, guys, we pushed him. Look, we put enough pressure on Biden that he's doing the right thing. He's trying to step in and do the right thing here and buy himself some little, face card when he's given them more than enough weaponry to do everything. They are nearing the close of their operation. If they've got everybody huddled into one place and they're going to wipe that place off the map, they're already auctioning off land there. They're close to done eradicating these people while the world's sat on their fucking hands. And now for him to be like, I'm going to limit the weapons to things I haven't let you use before, wink. It's just such
fake, right?
Absolute nothing.
It's all theater. Like the
seriously, exactly.
They come out with headlines where just like, but the thing is like this alone is pissing off Zionists. And they're like, listen to this Likud official who's. This is a quote from her, from a top Likud official. The U.S. is threatening not to give us precise missiles, which I guess is the the historic weapons or whatever. Oh yeah, well I got news for the U.S. We have imprecise missiles. I'll use it. I'll just collapse 10 buildings in Gaza. 10 buildings. That's what I'll do.
לא מדויקים, ויש לנו זכות להתגונן. אז אולי במקום להשתמש בטיל מדויק ולהוריד חדר ספציפי, או בניין ספציפי, אני אשתמש בטילים הלא מדויקים שלי, ואני פשוט אמוטט 10 בניינים. 10 בניינים! 10 בניינים! זה מה שאני אעשה. ארצות הברית מאיימת שהיא לא תיתן לנו טילים מדויקים. וואלה.
Don't you just hear that? I hate that fucking hair flip. Like that's what pisses me. What pisses me off is like the little subtle entitlement behaviors.
ארצות הברית מאיימת שהיא לא תיתן לנו טילים מדויקים. וואלה.
Dude, this is like an abusive girlfriend. That's what this is.
There are so many little micro, like the eyebrows, the fluttering of the eyes. There's a ton of tells when she's doing that. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
So we have an actual.
Speaking of a hair flip,
we actually have a response from the guys. Yeah, we have Mr. Airplane Man.
I need that in a lower third, please. Airplane Man.
Airplane Man. Count Spugula. Matt Miller. Yeah, this guy's literally a vampire. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's literally Count Dracula. This is an official statement back to the U.S. in response to that.
Member of the Knesset. She said this. She said the U.S. is threatening not to give us precise missiles. Oh yeah, well I've got news for the U.S. We have imprecise missiles. We'll use it. We'll just collapse 10 buildings. 10 buildings. That's what we'll do. So she's threatening that if Israel is held accountable for war crimes, they will respond by committing greater war crimes. What kind of effect does that have on U.S. decision making?
Those comments are absolutely deplorable, and senior members of the Israeli government should refrain from making them. We will continue to make our policy assessments based on what's in the best interests of the American people, what is in the best interests of the region.
That's it. Just refrain from these comments. What the fuck?
Yeah, because
this is. Can you imagine if any other country did that?
But this is how this whole fucking scam works. Okay, you've got one apparatus. One side of the apparatus is 200% for the interests of the apparatus. The other side is just there to pretend that they're not for it. That's all this is. I've written a strongly worded letter to the fucking genocide people saying, don't do that. Do it less, please. That's all this fucking is. That's all this fucking is. They have the power to end this tomorrow. They absolutely do. They could do that, and they could say they're going to do that, but they're not fucking going to do that because this is what they want.
It's just surprising the level of like, how much Israel is willing to go out as just like a literal pariah, like rogue pariah state that doesn't obey any laws, and literally no one likes them. No one in the entire world is the vast majority is the pro. Palestine.
Well, historically, genocide's kind of unpopular. Like as a whole, the average person's like, I don't really think, I don't really think genocide's like a thing we like need to do. We can probably just do better things like soccer or I don't know, like fuck. Also, this guy, Oblivion NPC. Look at his fucking. I could load up Oblivion right now and hit random, and I'm gonna get this bitch.
The response.
These potions are too strong for you, traveler.
The response from all of this is literally all because the type of weapons that we're supplying, whatever they're like imprecise or whatever the fuck defensive you want to call it, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This little Thader Shabak, the response from a lot of Republicans are just like the right wing, the Israeli Likud party is insane. Now, just from that alone, Joe Biden is Hamas. This is an actual tweet that Ben Gvir fired off today.
But I thought cookies were Hamas.
The security minister just said Joe Biden is Hamas. And Republicans are saying this too. This is Joni Ernest from Florida. Joe Biden is a propaganda tool for Hamas. Fucking insane, unhinged shit.
The president is a...
Go ahead.
Because, sorry. It's because this is how this whole fucking con works. They need to sell to everybody that the other side of the pro wrestling brigade is against it. You should be for this, but they're against it. They're for all the other people who are like, this is horrific. They continue to support that, but the reality is this is the administration that's in power, and they're actively enabling and supporting this. They are doing this right fucking now. So this whole like Biden's Hamas stuff, just look at the fucking facts, people. Just follow the money, trace the dots. Okay? There's no like Hamas enabling in this genocidal regime. Fuck. Okay, let's play the clip before I rant again.
The president is a tool, folks. He is a tool. Okay, in this case, he's a propaganda tool. But Hamas is using him, and he is allowing it, and he is turning his back on Israel. So our message today should be to remember, Mr. President, Hamas created the humanitarian disaster in Gaza. Hamas knew exactly what would happen when they attacked on October 7th. They knew that Israel would respond and that they would strive for victory and the destruction of Hamas. The president...
Anyone who's been in a relationship with a narcissist knows exactly what this is. This is, why are you standing up for yourself? That's why you deserve this punishment. It's because you didn't take the abuse. You're reacting to my abuse in the way that you shouldn't be reacting. Therefore, you deserve the punishment. That's exactly what this is.
Yep.
Joe Biden is Hamas is almost as unhinged as the same people being like Joe Biden is a communist, which continues to be my favorite fucking La La Land bullshit that these people are trying to sell. Yeah, Joe Biden. He's the next. He's the next Lenin for sure.
Which is funny because those are the same people. If you ask them to describe communism, they will describe fascism. They will describe what's happening now.
Every single time they describe capitalism, yeah, every time.
And then you ask them,
fail.
okay, well, what would your like utopia look like? What would like the perfect civilization look like? And they'll basically explain the core tenets of communism to you.
Explain Marxism.
You're so close. You're just so close, aren't you?
My favorite ever. I'll keep mentioning it forever, but it's when Roseanne Barr was like, she was on Infowars and shit, and it's like, so what should we do? And he's like, the people need to own the means of production, but not like communists.
I remember that.
This is a perfect sentence to describe North America.
That's what
this is perfect.
Like the propaganda has become so like there's so much of a lack of effort these days to really try to confuse people that it's just straight up brain worm garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bag of worms.
This is just like
it is falling. That's it. It's over. This
goes to show just how pervasive propaganda has been in our society, though. And a lot of people, if you're watching this and this is waking you up, fucking welcome. And I just like to say, we've all had to go through those.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was propagandized at one point in my life, and I had to snap out of it. And it's like, I feel like what we're witnessing right now, to put more of a positive spin on everything, is I think we're seeing like a mass wake up of a lot of people going through what some of us just went through earlier, where it's like, oh, fuck, none of this makes any sense. And you said this over here, but over here you're just, oh my God, they're all lying. They're all full of shit.
Yeah. It's like the narrative management has gone out of whack. They need to hire a new guy at the CIA. They even had we also had like the Macklemore song Heinz Hall, which I also want Jesse's opinion on that. But this is from Kaylin Johnstone, reading from Tim Foley.
This is easily one of my favorite things she's written. It just like, I don't know, it's a white pill, and I think we need a couple more of that nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Narrative management, it's failing.
Opposing the war machine is cool again, and the empire is getting nervous. American rapper Macklemore has released a single titled Heinz Hall, the name given to Columbia University's Hamilton Hall by anti-genocide protesters in honor of the 6-year-old Hind Rajab who was murdered in Gaza by Israeli forces. The artist says all proceeds from the track will go to UNRWA. The song, with its accompanying video, is such a scathing indictment of the US-backed destruction of Gaza that Google-owned YouTube promptly age-restricted it. Macklemore attacks Biden, the brutal police crackdowns on protesters, the conflation of anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, US politicians, and the Israel lobby, with lines that will haunt you for days like, "The Nakba never ended, the colonizer lied." This marks the first really mainstream artist to take on this issue in their chosen medium with a track intended for widespread circulation. It probably won't be the last. Opposing the Gaza genocide is quickly moving from the right thing to do to the cool thing to do, which is a major problem for the empire.
That's 100. I want to like target that one. That's the big thing.
That's the huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The empire can handle being on the wrong side of an issue. It has all the media and mainstream culture manufacturing institutions on its side, which allows it to frame public perception of that issue in a way that quells dissent. What it absolutely cannot handle is a critical mass of young people deciding the imperial murder machine sucks, and that opposing it is fun and makes you cool. That's when dissent takes on a momentum of its own. As long as opposing militarism and imperialism is just the morally correct thing to do, it will always be a marginal position in an information ecosystem that's controlled by the powerful, because simply being on the right side of an issue has little natural magnetism of its own. But the instant it moves from being about morality to being fun and cool, it suddenly starts crackling with energy and drawing in huge numbers of people who normally wouldn't be that interested on their own. The Empire has no answer to this. Seriously, how can a bunch of boring Empire managers in DC and Virginia hope to compete once that happens? What are they going to do? Win the young back by writing another Wall Street Journal think piece? Have Netanyahu rap about how Zionism is rad while Tony Blinken plays guitar?
I'm so glad that line is in there.
What's that band name? What is that band name? Netanyahu raps while Tony Blinken.
God.
Give that a band name. Chat, you go ahead.
BB and the Blinkers.
Oh, it's a duel.
21 war crimes.
Netanyahu rap young back by writing another Wall Street Journal think piece? Have Netanyahu rap about how Zionism is rad while Tony Blinken plays guitar? They got nothing. This crackling excitement behind an anti-war protest movement hasn't happened since the 60s, and the Empire had to retreat from Vietnam with its tail between its legs and dramatically restructure Western civilization before it could recover from it. And all the Empire managers who worked on solving that problem are dead and gone now. The people working on it now have never had to deal with anything like this, which is why it took them by surprise. The Empire managers of today have only ever encountered protests against the war machine that were either very small or short-lived and easily diverted. This one's only gaining momentum 7 months in. And the Northern Hemisphere's summer hasn't even started yet. I guarantee you the swamp monsters are scheming very hard to try and shut this thing down before summer starts, because the kids are going to have a whole lot of fun at their expense if they can't.
A lot of targets being hit there.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the most, like, I don't know, it's kind of the most white pill aspect of the horrifying times we're living in. We're kind of in a way watching the fucking world wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these people, like, they'll start connecting other dots. Because for a lot of these specific things, they're tying this to the people who are pushing it. And that's at least that's what radicalized me initially. I started connecting the dots and I was like, wait a minute. And for me, I feel like it was, the big one for a lot of us was the war in Iraq. We're like, wait, no weapons mass destruction. Wait, why are you going over here if you said the shit was over here? And then you're just like, oh, this is just all bullshit. You just wanted to fuck a bunch of people up and take all their resources. Okay. Oh, my cats are playing in the background.
It's not, dude. Supporting Israel is not cool anymore. That's a big thing. And I don't think Democrats can ever run on it anymore. There's no coming back from this. Nothing.
Dude, how confused do you think
PR image is done?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, like, how confused do you think 4chan is right now? They have to be the most confused they've ever fucking been, because they're like, wait, oh, what side do I pick here?
Right.
Because I have two conflicting perspectives right now. I'm not getting into detail there, but you guys can figure it out. Just check that website out for yourself.
As Tom Lehrer would say, feeling like a Christian Scientist with appendicitis.
Yep.
All right, let's. That was all I had for Rafah for tonight. But so let's wrap this up with our brand new debut piece.
So that was a nice segue too from Anthony Blinken playing guitar, because that was what first inspired the title and first couple lines that I sat on for a while. But there was some White House event where they had him come out and sit in with the band, and he played guitar. And it always turns my stomach when they have these moments where they take some, secretary, some politician, some war criminal, and they show them doing some fun hobby or some fun little thing to help, endear them to you and help make you go, gosh, look what a nice, fun, normal person they are doing fun, normal things, and that was just one of those moments for me, especially with Anthony Blinken, that I just couldn't get over. So I wrote this piece, which is just about those efforts to try to convince you that they're people when they're not. So this is called Humanization Attempts.
Let's get it on the screen. Yeah.
Tony pulls the skin back from his loose and sagging cheeks to stretch it firmly taut, lest it start drooping while he speaks. He pulls his jacket tight across his cold, unmoving chest, and Secretary Blinken is prepared to meet the press. And just like every other day, he'll read a sterile script. He'll praise the press and never let Assange escape his lips. America confessed Assange would not escape its grip, or the assurances of serpents who've envenomed every surface with the poison of their purpose till it positively drips. The very poison you've spent every waking moment drinking, the same inhuman fuel that keeps the secretary blinking. He looks right through the camera, and you cannot help but thinking that his pupils seem to fill his eyes. The whites are slowly shrinking, until solid black and doll-like they stare out into space. Horrible and godlike, inhuman leers the face. He smiles like he's never seen a smile in all his days and says, I like to play guitar when I'm not sowing massive graves. He leaves the network talking heads agape with bated breath. He's so relatable and human for a minister of death. But as they keep exhuming any human trait that's left, they quickly scrape its depth. As shallow as the West itself and deaf to those who've wept. As silent as the West itself when all the camps are swept. And yes, the current camps are far from where your needs are kept. But they're coming soon to a town near you, and you've watched them as they've crept inches closer. Each election, every changing of the guard, who is posted at a cell, which is exactly where we are. And no matter who is guarding us, they only wish us harm. They will never grant you freedom. They will not return your arms. So study Stockholm's scent till you can catch it on the wind. The pitiful attempts of those with such convincing skin to humanize themselves that you might start to let them in, to think they're just like you, or even worse, that you're like them. And that's humanization attempts.
God damn. That was muy bueno,
Thank you.
as the French say.
When you're describing Blinken's eyes, I just can't help but think of like. So you do you happen to remember that one image when like it was like happened early in October? Biden like visited Israel, and there's like an image of like and it's the image with the double chin, like you know how Biden had that weird picture of like him with the chin.
Yeah.
But in the background, it's Anthony Blinken looking at the side of the door, and it's just like,
yeah,
yeah. I remember that. Just like, oh no, they didn't. We got to get engineering up here. They didn't get this model right. He looks like shit.
They're probably all on a bunch of cocaine and really scheming. I'm really think there's like a lot of like, paranoia going on over there.
Oh, there's got to be.
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Jesse, if you want
the only thing I wanted to put into there somewhere was Bill Clinton playing sax too. But like there are so many instances of them trying to, feed us some little fun factoid instead of, God forbid, any kind of policy. And that's to the point now that whether we want it or not, even if we're clearly asking for something else, even if we're clearly saying, Madam President, Hamas agreed to a ceasefire. We get shrimp and grits, if that's what you were wondering. Shrimp and grits.
Exactly.
God damn, really? You're not even fucking trying, are you?
It's funny you said that because the first image that came to mind was Bill Clinton playing sax. And I remember as a kid, you guys probably did too, how Bill Clinton just pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. Everybody was just hypnotized. They were like, "Oh my god, he's just so."
They had him playing saxophone in the opening to Animaniacs, you know, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Look, there's Bill Clinton. Goddamn, that's so cool." Yeah. Guilty.
I remember people being like, "Oh, if only we could have Bill back, everything would be better." And I'm just like, "Oh, we were so dumb."
Yep.
I'm so mad at fucking 12-year-old me. I'm so mad at 12-year-old me. What a dumbass. I would say 12-year-old me, you have brainworms if I went back in time. Had to do a callback. Sorry. Not sorry.
Oh, God.
No, man, that's the worm tasticle special. It's all in the worm.
Oh man.
Yeah, Jesse, if you want to do any more, you can. But that's all I got for tonight.
I don't know. I would love to do pull string also. Like I'm finally done being mad about Lori Spencer earlier, and I don't know if I have.
Fuck RFK Jr. Do a pull string.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Let's go.
This, my only RFK piece was through the eyes of the most sycophantic fan I could find, and it's safe to say that she is 6 of my 10 least favorite people on Twitter.
Yeah, dude, Lori.
I can't even.
Her on Pasta today, and she literally said on Pasta. So RFK is right about so many things. What if he could be possibly right about Israel, which is such like the all many shit.
It's.
I mean, all I'm gonna say is she's definitely had direct contact with him. Just connect the dots. You can figure it out. It's
when you think of there. Like, there's just saying, hey, this is my candidate, this is my guy, But if you have to try to convince people that the genocide going on isn't that big of an issue in order to get people to sign off on your candidate's fucked. And you are morally fucked on like a core level. And to see someone really trying their best to excuse and justify what's going on, or make the case that they got it coming, or they deserve it, or there's a reason for this to happen, other than ethnic cleansing and a land grab, is absurd. And I would argue that if you're really trying to push that idea on people, it's safe to say that you want a larger body count. You don't want this to stop. So if you are actively encouraging and endorsing this, then you want more people dead. Then you're my fucking enemy. I hate to sound like the Dilbert guy, but like, how are you not the enemy of anyone with a conscience? Like, it's disgusting. It's there really aren't words. There's morally reprehensible. And the worst part is, and this is the last I'll say before I read the piece, because I didn't want to go all in. She's learned well from all the Israeli representatives that she's watched how to play victim after saying shit like that, to after all this hateful, ignorant shit that comes out of her mouth, to say, thank you for being nice to me. Thank you for playing fair. People are just so mean, politics just makes for strange bedfellows, doesn't it? And for the record, I would rather eat a fucking ground glass burger, have a baby through my dick, and eat a gun before I shared a bed with someone with that kind of fucking barrel of the fucking just bottom of the barrel morals. It's absolute garbage. I can't.
I
can't even.
Your vocabulary, man.
I ran out of words. It is possible for me to hit a wall, and I hit a wall. You all have seen it.
I like it's It's like the angry video game nerd theme song.
Seriously, I'm just gonna start sputtering and just like it's bleeding. I'm just like
I'd rather have a buffalo take a dump on my face.
I'd rather drink beer I'd rather drink beer out of a skunk's asshole.
You know when I don't know if anyone watches Arrested Development, but there's the episode when Job keeps talking about his suit, and finally he goes, should and I felt like I was about to just do that, like I was about to blue screen and need a reboot. It's just my blood pressure. It's okay. So anyways,
let's roll.
When I wanted to do an RFK piece, it felt the best to focus through this. Not just how bad is this candidate, but how bad is someone that can defend him wholeheartedly. And that's how this came to be. This is pull string. Get my last little dredge of water. You got to be quiet on this one, bro. I mean it. Her hands are bound behind her candidate, who found the perfect hill on which to lay it down for good, who she might not agree with on apartheid or celebrating war crimes, but talks just like she could. He's got the IDF's back and the CIA's back like a Democrat should. Mr. Anti-Establishment didn't start the fire, but he's slipping on his hood. Her voice is grafted to a candidate who might not always speak for her, but what is she to say? Why bother harping on an issue that Americans won't listen to? It seems like such a waste. But what activism is saying they don't give a shit, but if I don't, why would they? So way to rob yourself of agency, then chain yourself to genocide and look the other way. I love to see a fellow running as a Democrat, taking stacks of money from a GOP super PAC, calling out corruption in the giant fucking country club he's clearly been accepted at, but wants to be the leader of. He knows which way the money runs, knows it paves a leader's path, and human rights for Palestine historically don't lead to that, so he will not address it, as he doesn't see a need for that. And welcome to the attitude our country's politicians have displayed toward Palestinians since back before they cracked the will of Arafat. And so the story goes forever after. We do not speak the P word here or recognize the Nakba. All you'll find are sea lions who volunteered as actors, barking like a manuscript from NAFTA. All you'll find are insulated sycophants intent on justifying why the slaughter done in Palestine is not a voting matter. Tell that to Shireen Abu Akleh. Tell that to the children growing up inside a city where the walls are made of shackles. Tell that to a mother who is burying her baby, how her son is not our problem because we'll never see his grave. He's just a topic we can mute, or we can scroll right past his face and all those videos of mourners being beaten at his wake. So stuff your poll on what the average voter deems as urgent. They don't get to know the half of what we use as our detergent when we launder all our ISIS cells, our cartels and insurgents. We do not elect the man behind the curtain. We elect the pull string diversion. We elect the lesser evil donors pre-selected, best to do unto the Arabs as we did unto the Persians, and do unto the Muslims as instructed by the merchant who provided you with HIMARS that can vaporize a person. Back into the dust in which we all will find immersion. One arms dealer's Jenin is another dealer's curse on. Both are just a mark that Lockheed Martin smells a purse on. And voters, the hollow thralls that Congress put a curse on. To vote against their interests every 4 years till they die. And if you show them Palestine, cry better them than I. Though the curse of occupation's taken place within their mind, they will always love their prison long as they are shown the sky. They will sing about their freedoms under Apple's watchful eye as puppets sing and dance should you so pull their strings and wires. And they will rally round the man who bears a torch and bears it high and believe him when he tells them that he's here to stop the fire. We are cursed to love our prison and keep lifting up our liars. We are not behind the wheel. We're being crushed beneath the tires. And our blood is in the oil and the plastic on the wipers. And our blood is on the hands of those who cranked inflation higher. And blood is on a vest where press can barely be deciphered. Put there by a few Israeli snipers who were aiming at the center mass of truth about American desires.
You can sell us any story. We're a nation built of buyers. And we love a good parade. It always makes us feel inspired. Like, who cares that those were Nazis? Gosh, they had the widest smiles. So I wouldn't bank on sequels to the Nuremberg trials. If they happened now, they would be confidential, Pfizer style. Redacted paragraphs and empty vials. Close to 80 years before they have to share their files. Well, luckily, your lesser evil logic lets you justify the nations we've defiled. Lesser evil logic lets you cast a vote for someone that you know is truly vile. Lesser evil logic sees another million bodies thrown upon its hoarder's pile, extending out for miles. So every line I've had to scrap, I've turned back into bile. So don't you touch that dial, lest the feds come swarm your door. I guess it isn't safe to say things like, I don't support the war, or may Palestine know freedom from the Jordan to its shores, or I'd love to see our senators get trampled by the poor. Any pull string down will tell what they're allowed to stand up for, and how little things like Palestine are better off ignored. Call it voter outreach for desperate remoras when the shark from which they get their scraps starts pulling on the floor. And the shark says those who live beneath a brutal occupation should be thankful for their freedoms and their rubble and their gore. And I swear it only makes those bottom feeders love him more. One in particular is beaming for her candidate who found the perfect hill on which to make his final stand. She will not be deterred by all those pesky little war crimes, will not be deterred by his support for stolen land. He helps her come to terms with how to spin an occupation, and forgiving the oppressor is the democratic way. She says her voice is grafted to the candidate who speaks for her. And every time you pull her string, she's nothing new to say. And that's pull string.
Oh, you said everything. That says everything we all wanted to fucking say.
That was real
Holy
touch and go
shit.
for the minute there, boys.
The wild thing is like the fact that RFK is independent, and it's like a lesser evil of a lesser evil. Like, we're really playing that again. Movie 2024.
That's the thing. They I feel like the ruling class has realized like the lesser evil thing isn't working, so it's like, okay, we need to create additional lesser evils. They all serve the same aims, but maybe if we just hit that sweet spot of like 4 different lesser evils, we'll be able to dupe the trolls into complying with our insane bullshit. And the hilarious thing is, they're not anymore. Sorry. You lost them. You lost them because of your bourgeois hubris and your shitty empire managers and brainworms. Really, that's all that it took. Just one really ambitious, brave, and stunning brainworm to eat the portion of your perfect candidate's brain.
Oh my God! I just realized who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to write in brainworms.
Brainworm 2024.
24.
That's it.
Now that's a candidate I could get behind.
I'm making some shit. I have to make. I gotta make it. I'm making a meme right after this.
I'm getting a little inspired too.
Oh yeah, I gotta get up early.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude! Thank you guys so much. Seriously, this was again. I'm always proud of us that we are able to still like walk away and like have like laughed, at all with everything that's going on. But there's no one else I'd rather suffer through this shit show with than my INN fam and everyone in chat. Like every episode of American Tradition, it's the same. Like you guys, it's the most therapeutic, fulfilling thing to be able to have these moments. So love you guys.
Same thing, comrade. Thanks so much for coming on, eh? Anytime you want to come out and bullshit with us again.
Hey, I'll be back for sure.
It's fun. It's a good time. Subscribe to the network. Follow INN.network. There's, I think Tara's on tomorrow. Probably Angel as well. We missed that on Sunday. Indy in the chat. Shout out. So be sure to stay tuned to the network. I appreciate that that heartfelt message from Jesse was a perfect closing.
Thanks.
All
And
right.
yeah, be sure to don't eat pork, guys. Like, limit your pork. This is the proof is in the MRI, I guess. Limit your pork. Okay, we have seen the effects of this in real time. Fuck. God damn.
Ooh. Okay. All right, love you, fam.
Oh, and, Himbo's gaming on Saturday too.
Yeah, if you guys want to watch me eat absolute shit to the same boss for 2 hours and lose my mind over it, that's what's gonna fucking happen.
Oh, I might have to watch that.
It was smooth sailing, and then at the very end, I came across this boss, and it was just chat watching me have like advanced nerd rage to the point where like you played World of Warcraft for the first time, you died like 56 times in a fucking row to the same like elite mob. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to watch me get angry at video games and probably slip in some Marxism as I always do very cleverly, other people's words, not mine, check me out on Saturday.
Okay. All right. Have a good night, fam.
All right. Take care, guys.
Good night.